and we finna put a strain on the relationship with our kid in the middle.
Yeah.
So, I was able to avoid that.
So
She was able to manage my avoidance. And I see a lot of the times where that don't happen. When them men want access to them women and they can't get it, it's a problem. And when them women want access to them men and they can't get it, it's a problem. And you got to be grown up here if you're talking about raising a child. And I think that's why I say we got a whole lot of corrections.
Well, hold on. Before we even go any further, let's bookmark that since we are recording. Welcome back to the newest episode of Triple Beam Radio.
Yeah, we on live.
We live. We going live right now, man.
What's up?
And it's the boy Bodine, and I got with me the homie Los Baby. Say what's happening, Los.
What up? It's your boy Los Baby, aka Exceptional Jones to the Slab. Y'all know what it is.
No doubt. Of course, I got the producer extraordinaire, the stick who stirs the drink, the man behind the scenes. We got my boy JK.
Word.
All right, y'all. And you know how we do our business, so let's get to it, Los. So yeah, bookmark what we had just said, and so do you think, man, that being that, again, sometimes, you make kids, your kids yourself, right? So you're dealing with too emotionally immature.
I will not accept that.
I'm just asking. So do you think that being that you're an adult and you have a kid, you should be able to compartmentalize feelings, man? Like, okay, he ain't fucking with me no more, but he trying to fuck with my child.
Yeah.
I can still feel a way about him, but I shouldn't be affecting this shit over here. See, that's idealistically, that's awesome. But what's the reality there?
Right, because the thing is, I don't think people can see that that's what they're doing.
Right.
Like I've had people say to me, right after I hear them say something negative about the other parent in front of the child, they'll say, I don't ever down talk the other parent in front of the child. I don't think they recognize that they're doing it when they're in the middle of doing it.
So let me ask you this.
I think grown-ups really be thinking them children don't be listening to them.
Oh, yeah, children, because, hey, we probably all gone through some of that shit as kids as well, right? But let me ask you this, man. When you talking about the down talking, I was having a conversation with someone about this the other day. If you're speaking the truth about the other parent, is that considered poison in the child?
It depends on what truth you speak.
What the truth you're speaking, right?
Because I used to walk around Port Arthur full of that crack.
Yeah.
I just did. That's,
right. And so if your daughter went to your BM and was just like, what's my daddy issue? She'd be like, well, he on drugs. Is that really a down talk?
No. I don't think that is a down talk.
I don't think so either. That was the conversation I was having.
That was a fact of my life.
And there was also a question being asked that she answered truthfully, right?
Now, this is what I'll say though. If I've been off crack 10 years,
right,
and she's still telling my daughter, well, your daddy used to smoke that crack, because my daughter never seen me high. My daughter don't know me getting loaded, right? She ain't never seen me take a drink, no nothing. So if that's something she bringing up and I'm 10 years removed,
that's a down
talk. Because what's that about? What purpose was
why you still hanging on to that?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
What purpose is that serving at this point, right? So that ain't no different than me, and this ain't my issue. I'm just using this as an example. But that would be no different than me having a conversation with my daughter and I'm saying, yeah, because your mama was out here hoeing.
Yeah,
let these niggas run a train.
Yeah, motherfuckers was flipping your mama in this.
Like, what is that? What purpose is that serving in that moment, right? I'm talking down on the woman to try and spare myself something with this child. And I'm supposed to, as an adult, take my own licks.
Right.
So
I agree with that.
I shouldn't be involved.
And like I say, but I guess it's easy for me to sit there and say, well, man, you should be old enough, you should be mature enough to compartmentalize your feelings and,
Old people petty, bro.
And that's just the bottom line. Yeah, that's just the bottom line, man. That shit is a lot easier to say when you ain't the one who's been transgressed or you ain't the one who's been hurt. You get what I'm saying?
Somebody say so-and-so too old for that.
Nah, that's bullshit. Nah.
Because I don't know nobody that ain't messy.
Right.
People act like they not messy.
Yeah, but everybody is. Yeah. We all love a little gossip.
Because when you talking about that other person being messy, guess what you're doing? You're being messy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know nobody. People will tell you, man, I don't talk about folks. Yeah, you do.
That's what I heard you say before,
You know?
calling somebody judgmental is a very judgmental statement.
Right.
Yeah,
And
right. Yeah.
it just is,
Yeah,
man. So, like for real, I say that, and I think I need to say that one more time because people need to really grasp what I'm saying. Old people be petty.
Yeah.
So it's like little babies be petty.
Mm-hmm.
Adolescents be petty. Teenagers be petty. Young adults be petty. Middle agers be old people be everybody petty.
Go
man.
to the grave on the bullshit.
And so ain't no age limit for that. Ain't no age limit for mess and internal strife. Because that's really what be going on with me. If I'm talking about somebody else, it's usually because I got something with me that I don't really want to deal with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Something I don't feel like managing, right? But when I
So that's
talk
your
about,
outlet. That's how you vent. A lot of times is
I think that's how everybody
we
does.
deflect
But
and
like
put
I
that
say,
shit on other
I don't
people.
think we see it when we in the middle
Of
of
course you don't.
it.
Hey, dude,
Somebody's
that's
gotta
one of the
bring it to
hardest
our
things you'll
attention.
ever do in your life is look in that mirror.
And there's a process.
It's one of the
that I
most
follow
liberating things too, if you ever get a chance to do it.
that technically it forces me to do that.
Right.
But even seeing it, bro,
Mhm.
don't necessarily change it.
No.
Because it's like,
Well, that's all you know if that's what you do.
yeah, G.I. Joe was lying their ass off. Knowing is not half the battle. It's just knowing.
Yeah.
It's some whole, because that's when the work begin. That ain't
It's
in
the first
middle
step,
of
right?
it, bro.
Admitting that it is a problem now.
That's when the work began.
Yeah.
But it's
But then you have to want to do the work, right? The work don't just.
And man, listen, I've watched. There was a conversation being had on a podcast, I think it was, and basically the guys were talking about accountability with women. There was 3 women on the panel, and one of the guys said, "So if you say something, you going off, the man show you in black letter law where you wrong, what you do?" Dude, it was 800 comments under there. Probably 650 of them comments was women saying, "I start crying." They admittedly used those tears as a weapon to avoid accountability, right?
Right.
Now, what I wanted those women to do is to flip that back to their men and say, "What do you do?" Because if men are going to be honest, it should be 600 comments under there that say, "I get violent." Because that's what we do to avoid accountability.
Yeah,
we don't own it, but that's what we do.
What you saying when you're dealing with a weaker person, a physically weaker person?
Correct.
That I'm gonna puff my chest out. I'm gonna get loud.
Not
I'm
only
gonna
do
be
we do it
intimidating.
to women, we do it to other men too.
Yeah, no, that's
Cats think that make them alpha males. No, it just means you lack accountability, bro. Because right's supposed to be right and wrong's supposed to be wrong, right? But when this woman called me on my shit and I start rah-rahing with her, what I'm rah-rahing for? I don't really want to beat her up. I want her to stop holding me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same reason they start crying, man. The reaction's the same. You know what I'm saying? Just the expression of it's a little different. But that's why I say we got some shit we need to work on. Because, like, for real, I woke up this morning and there were 2 women murdered in the city of Houston last night within an hour of each other. Both domestic violence incidents.
Mm-hmm.
Both instances, the kids was right there.
Mm.
In one of the instances, the way the police was describing it, the dude was putting his hands on one of them children. It was a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And he was whipping the kids and the wife got in the way. Man, we ain't got no more emotional intellect than that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look here. I was
but
again,
that's the truth.
a
the
video
truth
clip.
Is, no, we don't.
No, don't. Because look at the video clip they were showing. They was talking about who's worse, the bitter baby mama or the bitter baby daddy, right? It just really shows the ignorance on both sides when you're bitter, right? So it's like bitter BM is she gonna give you trouble seeing the kid. The bitter baby daddy is fuck you all y'all. He just fuck all y'all. I done cut all y'all off. I ain't dealing with none of y'all. And that's just.
And both of those are horrible.
Horrible. Right? Like I said, just ignorant, and man. It shows the ignorance on both sides.
We'll offer up justifications for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, y'all know who's suffering.
The kids.
And then we got the nerve with a straight face to say, man, these children, something wrong with these children. Yeah, we wrong. We what's wrong with them. And I get it, man, because we the crack babies, right? We were raised
Well,
in
we're dealing with the
America,
crack grandbabies now.
you know. But what happened to my generation, bro? And all you got to do is sit and listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Cats 55 to probably 45. You sit and listen to them. All they talk about is how they didn't like what their parents was doing. So they decided,
To do something different.
and they didn't even consciously decide this a lot of times, man. But they decided, well, I'm not gonna, my kid, I'm not gonna, my kid don't have to, I'm not gonna make my kid. And what you did was huge lack of discipline occurred. And now that shit you thought was cute when he was 2 is criminal when he's 20.
You know, it was
They ain't got no control.
like I say, it was like an overcompensation. And you know, I'm
It
looking
was.
it was overcome because I'm looking at.
Was.
It took me a while to get to understand. It took me becoming a parent, but then it's just like I used to just think my folks was extra hard on me, right? You sit back, you take some accountability. I deserve 90% of some of that shit, right? You get what I'm saying? But I also realized the era they was coming out of and how rough and how difficult shit was for them. You get what I'm saying, bro? And that shit gets passed on to the next. And then, like I say, I'm a little old. I come from this generation, and it's like he said, man, I'm telling myself, man, I ain't gonna never do this to my child. I ain't gonna never. My children ain't gonna have to worry about this. My children ain't. And it goes back to that. What's that cycle, man? It's hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
Hard time.
You get it, and it's just
No
a fucking
doubt.
cycle. That's just how it goes, man. And it's what he was just saying right now.
That's the truth, man.
Yeah, what he was just saying right now. It's
like for real.
We became, not saying we were bad parents, but we were definitely less strict on the discipline than the previous generation. There's no fucking. I mean, that's damn near across the board. You see,
like for real.
Yeah, it's
because
damn
I'm
near
gonna
across
say,
the board.
you know, my mama had 4 boys. My old man wasn't in the house with us, but he was present.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say he wasn't, and I was lying my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look back at my life, truthfully,
Mm-hmm.
he was present.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in defense of him, my mama a tough woman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of areas he didn't have a say in. I don't know if he wanted one and just didn't get one. I ain't never asked her. I ain't never asked him. I know.
Well, that was her house, man. She gonna have the last say.
And I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
as it concerned me, certainly me,
Yeah.
there was very little that anybody could tell my mom about her baby boy.
Yeah.
But she tore our ass up regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Now I caught about 25 and 10 really, really, really good ass whippings for some shit I never did.
Well, you remember them?
Man, my mama damn near killed me because she thought I skipped school one time.
I remember them.
And I love school.
Oh.
Like, I'm not skipping school. What? I'm in elementary. I love school. I'm in the summit program. We're going on field trips.
Yeah.
Shit. Why would I skip this? But she was supposed to come pick me up. I forgot they let school out early. So I just walked to the crib, right? Because back then kids walked home. Because, you know, it's a different time, right? Even though the Atlanta child murders, it just happened. But that's another conversation. But I walked to the crib.
That just tell you, man, ain't none of these generations better than the other one, man. That shit right there. You see what I'm saying, man?
That happened.
We always be saying that shit, man. Like that tells you right there, man. Every generation has its problems and its fuck ups, man. You know, because grandma and them thought my dad and them was insane and fucking crazy, and I bet they felt like they failed his parents too.
They probably did. They probably did feel that way. I won't doubt that. But no.
I guarantee you they did.
I don't think they thought
the hippie era hit, fam.
I think they thought something was wrong with the kids, just like
what we just talking about right here.
Because right now, if you go ask anybody other than the two of us sitting here, bro, they gonna say something wrong with these damn children.
Yeah, because look,
they gonna blame everybody else, but they not gonna look at themselves.
My grandfather was born in my dad's dad. He was born in 1917 in Grand Cayman. Okay, now this is not the tourist attraction you see now.
Right.
Papa came from a third world country.
Right.
Grandma was born in 1920 here in PA. Okay.
Boy, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
So you think of the times they come in. They come, how could strict conservative, because black communities can be conservative than a motherfucker, right? So
they absolutely are.
Right. So you thinking about the strictness and the conservative black community back then, right? My daddy born in 49. My daddy come up through the hippie era. What you think they thought about them motherfuckers?
Yeah, certainly. But that's not them thinking they failed as parents. That's them thinking something wrong with these kids.
Okay, so you thinking we failed as parents as a generation.
That's what I
Or
believe.
You thinking that
I believe
us or
when
previous?
I say we failed, I believe
just some shit we missed out on.
That absolutely needed correction, and we did not.
Yeah, you saying
correction.
Yeah,
and it was because we believed we were held to a standard that was just unattainable. I think I caught some whippings, man, for crazy shit. I'm like, why is this punishable? You know what I'm saying? By a flogging. This is crazy. I didn't even really do anything, right?
Yeah.
So I decided, my daughter's 32 years old, man.
Right.
I put a belt to my daughter twice in life. First time I hit her one time. Scared the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
Because when she started crying, I immediately thought I hit her too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a man. I ain't got no business touching her anyway. I freaked out. I called her mama. Hey, look, man, I'm sorry. Shannon was in because she was playing with fire. Now we laugh about it today because she say I ain't even hit her that hard. She just started crying because she felt like if she did, I would stop. It worked, right? But she was playing with matches in the crib, and I had left her alone so I could go to a meet. Scared the shit out of myself because she was like 11, right? When I was 11, I stayed in the house by myself all the time.
Right.
I realized it's a different generation, right? I can't do that. I can't do with her what my mama did with us. I'm a little boy. It was probably okay for me and my brother to be at the house, like.
But you also had an older brother too, though.
So, right. So I backed up off of that. And then the second time, she was on punishment for something. And I still today blame that on my mama. Because my mama didn't play when it came to us. But that grandbaby, she don't tell her nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I tell her in front of my mama, she can't play the game while I'm gone.
Right.
You understand? But it's 3, 4 other little kids in the house. You in trouble. They not in trouble. They can get on the game all they want. You can't get on the game because you in trouble. We'll talk about it when I get back from the grocery store. Because what happened, we had a bad storm. There was some flooding in Port Arthur. Mm-hmm. So I took her to Beaumont, to my mama's house, where Carvateras had flooded. So my brother's lady friend brought her kids over there too. So it's 4, 5 kids in the house. I leave, we going to go get some stuff, to cook for them so they can eat or whatever. I come back, she on the game. So I'm looking at my mama. What you doing? And she like, what you mean? You heard me tell her she can't get on the game. Why would you let her get on the game? So my mama basically said, well, I didn't tell her she couldn't get on the game. That's between you and her. Really? You know what? I told you couldn't get on the game. Get your butt off the game. You around here, you tried, and she smacked her lips.
So you cut into her?
Oh, yeah, I put that belt on.
Okay.
Now, that time I hit her 2 licks.
I thought you was finna say something, man. So
what you mean?
Twice,
listen,
okay.
I hit her 2 licks, but I hit her them 2 licks because she disrespected me. You see what I'm saying? Think about that. I felt disrespected by my child. That was a very odd thing to think about my kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She disobeyed, sure. Mm-hmm. But I felt disrespected. Now, I was mad as hell at my mama. I ain't want to talk to her. We left. Matter of fact, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what you think. That's what you think. So you think that our generation of parenting, the biggest hole we have in that board of parenting, the thing we don't check off is it was the discipline.
I think that's the biggest thing.
So, but was
that
a reaction? But see, the lack of discipline, that was a reaction. You don't think that was a reaction from the over discipline we received?
Yes, I absolutely believe it is.
Right. So
I absolutely believe it is. But I think with anything else, right? The pendulum was way over here.
so it swung
It
this
had
other
to
way.
swing all the way over
Right.
here. At some point, it got to get back to the middle. But when
Right.
is that? Because in the meantime, look at what we got. You know what I'm saying?
So what you think is so bad? What they doing now that we didn't do?
I think the lack of respect for the older generation
Okay.
is the biggest indicator.
Okay.
Because while we were recalcitrant children,
Right.
we understood that that old lady's somebody's grandma,
Okay.
and we got to be quiet when she come around.
Okay.
When that lady tell us get off her steps smoking that stuff, we leave.
Okay.
That doesn't happen today.
Okay.
What ensues is an argument, cussing, and carrying on, which is crazy to me because, like, this is an old person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really gonna get into it with an elderly gentleman?
So
But they will, bro.
so that's what you see as the biggest, because it's like you said, because damn near everything they do, we done did. But you see that
No
that is
doubt.
the
But
biggest.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the generation before us was even more respectful than we were because it was older guys on the block that taught me to put that cigarette down when that old lady come walking by.
Right. Okay.
And it's like, as an adult, I'll walk into the home of an elderly person and I'll sit in their living room. And that's crazy because you don't do that.
Oh, well, you made me just remember
But I
something
missed
because
it. You know what I'm saying?
I've given one of my baby boy one of his friends a ride home before, and what blew me was the motherfucker got in the car and didn't speak.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That was just a no.
now is he from here? Because the thing is, when
Yeah.
my daughter initially moved here from New York, I had a huge problem with her with that.
Yeah, well, that's a little
Because
different.
it was
Southern hospitality is way,
Right.
because I've lived on the East Coast my damn self.
I didn't realize it at the
It's
time.
different.
I
It is a
thought,
difference.
what is wrong? Oh no, she lacks discipline.
Yeah.
She needs to be. But the realization that I had to come to is that people don't do that. It's 8 million people in New York.
Hey,
City.
let me tell you something too.
They don't be speaking like they'll be speaking all day.
Nah.
So they don't.
The shit he just was
they don't
talking
do
about,
that.
complaining about. That shit was the norm when I moved up, when I was up in in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Shout out to my Newcastle Triple Beam, baby. But that was the norm. You see kids going back and forth with adults. Blew my
Really?
mind.
Yeah,
Because I'm from here. And that just wasn't the
No,
you just
man.
didn't do
You
that.
get the Daffy Duck mouth.
But
you
I
finna
seen that was the norm. When I'm in class, I see cats going back and forth with them teachers.
Oh, we used to always call that white people stuff. No disrespect, white people. I know
That was
but for real, we used to call that white people stuff, man.
Put that on the Holy Ghost and 4 more guards. That was the norm. Blew my mind. Because I tell you what else blew my mind. Just
Wow.
that the young kids on their own. It wasn't uncommon to see, cat 14, 15, 16 years old. They done went through some program. They doing some independent living. They got their own crib. That was pretty normal.
And I mean, so that I can see certainly in larger urban areas.
Newcastle's smaller than Port Arthur.
So how?
Okay.
I guess would be the question I would have.
Yeah.
Where would a program like that come from? How would it get started? Who would start that versus trying to reunite those families? Because I think that was more the program set up in the South down here.
Yeah.
But
that was very.
And I'm sure every area, right? Every geographic area in the country's got slightly different issues, right? But I think the larger piece is what we always talk about. Every generation think the generation after them crazy.
Right.
So
but like you say, one of the glaring issues. One of the glaring issues.
I'm not saying these cats gonna all kill themselves and the world's not gonna continue.
Right.
I'm saying just like our parents thought, there's some correction necessary here. You guys are making some errors. We didn't correct those errors, and they've compounded themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So now we sitting where our parents were sitting, and we saying, "Hey, man, you guys have some errors here. You need to make some corrections." And the generation that we're talking to not making those corrections either. So when you have
how's the
5 and
discipline gonna
6
be?
year olds who won't sit down
with
for
our
their
kids.
teacher. Like seriously, bro.
See, if
No, not with
and
your
I
kids,
know for a fact
with your grandkids.
I was way less of a disciplinarian than my parents. I know,
You know?
that is factual, right?
So imagine your grandkids.
Right. So how my kids gonna be when they come to being a disciplinarian and discipline their kids, my grandbabies, man? How is that? Is
Like
it gonna be
legit,
none at
bro.
all?
When
And then look, you got to think about us as grandparents because every grandparent way easier.
yeah,
Because the
man,
grandparents, this is
telling
their
you,
opportunity to make them corrections they did on their kids,
dog,
right?
my mama be woofing and would
Yeah.
be talking all that noise.
Yeah.
And then my daughter get over there and my mama wouldn't be telling her nothing, man.
'Cause
And
I
I'm
done
like,
told-
you used to beat the brakes off of us.
Yeah.
Why is you not beating the brakes
I
off
done
of
told
us?
all three of mine. I done told
And
all my
she
nieces
said,
and
I
nephews.
raised mine already.
That ain't the woman who raised me.
No.
That is
It
not the woman.
absolutely is
That is not the woman.
Man,
The
listen.
stuff y'all get away with.
My
man.
brother got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Man, them little girls so. They beautiful, they awesome, but they is something.
Yeah.
Man, my mama,
Mhm.
they got the run of the place when they go over there.
Yeah.
Man, if we didn't sit ourselves down somewhere, man, we were finna catch one.
Mhm.
You know, and I don't understand. But what she said was, I raised mine already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I gotta respect that. So it's like, okay, all right, I feel that, but you ain't gonna help me none. You gonna leave me hanging like
I
that?
gotta tell them, and
But-
it ain't no shot at my mama because I love her dirty draw. But I'm telling you, man, I didn't told all that. I don't know who this woman is.
For real, man.
I don't know
not,
who.
but you know,
Yeah. But again, and I'm sitting there looking like, well, I'm gonna do the same to my grandbabies.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to even figure out what I'm gonna have them call me. I'm
and
playing in the
defense
head. Because
of this
I look too
generation.
good to be a pawpaw. You get what I'm saying?
Y'all see? Y'all knew it was coming. Don't act like y'all didn't know.
To be a
Y'all
pawpaw,
knew it was
man.
coming.
Yeah, man, I can't, man. I'm not old and decrepit. You know what I'm saying?
You had to twist off at
Yeah,
some
I'm just
point. Y'all know
saying,
how-
man.
You had to-
Come on, man.
Look,
They gonna be like, damn, your granddaddy fine. You know what I'm saying?
that's some repugnant shit.
You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker here. Hey, man. Shit.
Oh, man.
And I made pretty babies.
But, you know, look, real talk.
Yeah,
In
shit.
defense of this, because all of this other stuff I'm saying is right. I believe it. What I also believe is just like our generation was still able to innovate, right, and continue on. This generation will still be able to innovate and continue on.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna, blow themselves to oblivion. I don't think the
No,
world's gonna stop turning.
no.
I don't think, they all going to hell in a handbasket.
You said it perfectly.
I think there's some correction that is
The
necessary.
pendulum swung.
But
Right.
I think
I
I think we're seeing the repercussions of some of it now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Society.
100% we are. 100% we
And
are.
I just feel like
Things
they
got a
caused
lot
themselves some
softer.
undue stress.
Things that got
You
a lot
know?
And like I say, and I think that was the pendulum because, we all, I mean, you older than us, but we all of that, hey
What
man, we
the
come from a
fuck
generation.
does that mean?
Yeah. You a pawpaw.
Y'all shit was-
You know what I'm saying? Right. You gonna be motherfucking pawpaw. Ain't no fucking doubt, man. But we come from a
Y'all know what dry hate is?
we were in that era just like I guess my parents like it was a lot of not a lot of filter on shit, a lot of words that are banned and considered insensitive now was the norm.
Right. No doubt about that.
So I think that is.
Yeah, so things have become like
But-
super politically
So, let me
correct.
ask this though. Those words that were the norm, were they necessary though?
Nope.
Or were they just unnecessarily cruel?
There you go. Hey man, look,
You know what I mean?
we come
So
from
it's like
motherfuckers used to have
shouldn't some of them
nicknames
go away,
like
though?
Gay Corey and shit like that. You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
like shouldn't
man?
that shit go,
Some of
shouldn't
it should have
go
gone away.
So I
100%.
guess there's a part of me that's just like,
Yeah.
might be time
Yeah.
for us to get away from some of that mess. Right?
But you see that just it's so hard for some people to let that shit go.
So I'm gonna say
And
this.
that's when they say
This is gonna
this
be very
motherfucker-
unpopular, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, segueing off into another topic, which is probably a topic for another conversation, for another discussion, right?
okay.
But part of that comes from this idea that the King James Version of the Holy Bible is a history book. Now, I don't have any shame saying it to anybody. I'm a Christian. What I am not is a whole hog believer in a book that has been translated hundreds of times over hundreds of languages.
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand what happens, right? Things are lost
That-
in
I was
translation.
about to say that goes to the term lost in translation.
Things are altered in
Mhm.
translation. Some translations, excuse me, are agenda driven. And I think some of the languages change. And I'll give you a for instance. That's, again, I know going to rub some people wrong, but segues off into another conversation. And y'all follow me for a minute because I'm going to get there.
Okay, I'm going to walk with you. Hold on,
But
let me grab onto your shirt.
if
Go
you
ahead.
take and you look at the passage in the Bible that everybody references when they speak to homosexuality, they say that the Bible says man should not lie with man as he lies with woman. It is abomination, right? That is the scripture. That is the passage. Here's the problem with that.
It go deeper than that.
When you go back to Hebrew,
It go way deeper than that.
there
Pause.
aren't two words in that sentence that are the same. In the Hebrew writing,
Mm-hmm.
there aren't two words in that sentence that are the same.
Okay.
So how did they translate to that? How did they translate that to man shouldn't lie with man? If the first man and the second man aren't the same word in Hebrew, how did they become the same word in English?
Mm-hmm.
Now you take some Latin translations and it says man should not lie with boys
See, that's what I always.
as he lied with
That
women.
was always
It is abomination.
the study I had learned from.
Right.
It was
But
about
the problem with that
yeah,
is the Romans did not agree.
because that was
Because
part of
the
their culture.
Romans lied with boys on a regular basis.
Yeah, the gymnasiums and stuff. Yeah,
So
that's part of their culture.
is the Bible actually talking about homosexuality or is it talking about pedophilia? Because there's a difference between the two. And
Mhm.
I think there are a lot of people in this country and others who don't know that.
No, the two
But there's a
get
difference between
the two get mixed
right?
up all the time because
Right, which is crazy to me.
you will
but
see.
they do.
We've seen it a million times. It's a gay man and he rounds me. Get him away from them kids before they touch his kids. No. He likes other men.
Yeah,
He don't like.
you know.
Yeah.
What's your boy say on the bold dock? I ain't come here looking for no little boy.
You're right.
Yeah. I came for man's butt.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because
but we've seen that a million times, right? Get him away from
But
them
like,
kids. He's not
legit,
bothering them kids. Yeah, he wants you.
The
You know what I'm
English
saying?
version
Right.
says man shouldn't lie with man. The Hebrew version says blank shouldn't lie with blank, and they two different words.
So what do those
The
words translate
Italians,
in the Hebrew?
that's what I don't know.
Okay.
The Italians translated it to say man shouldn't lie with boys.
Right. That's what I've always
But the Romans
been my
disagreed.
understanding.
Because the Romans practiced that.
That's the only reason I would
That
believe
was
they
part of
would
their
change
culture.
it.
Yeah.
But what is surely there is that these aren't they ain't the same word. Why would they put two different words to say the same thing? Who writes like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that goes.
Why would I say a wheel is not a wheel and then say a wheel is not a circle?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm trying to say a wheel ain't a wheel, I'm going to say a wheel ain't a wheel. Why would I use two different words? Why would the Hebrew version use two different words if they were trying to recognize the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they were. Nah, I can't because I don't speak Hebrew. I can't say for certain what those two words actually mean. It just seems strange to me that they would write a sentence to say man and not use man and man.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody decided that that's what they meant.
Mm-hmm.
So when people speak to that like it's an absolute, anybody who know that they know bother me. Because there's absolutely no way for me to know that. That is a belief you have. And that's fine. But your right to your conviction stop at my fucking nose, man.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that, knowing that, how can you trust the Bible in its entirety? Like
It is incredibly difficult. What I do, and this is me personally, I don't speak to anybody else's methodology, right? But for me personally, there's what I believe is there's something on the inside of us, every one of us. I know that there's something on the inside of me. When I get ready to do some fuck shit, I know that it's fuck shit, man. Something on the inside. Now, part of that's nature, part of it's nurture, right? Because I was told over and over and over again not to do some stuff. So that stuff feels wrong to me, right? It may not necessarily be wrong, but it feels wrong.
But the fuck shit feel good sometimes.
But it's some other stuff that I was told was wrong. And I just don't agree.
Yeah, we got some shit there.
As an adult.
Yeah.
So if I'm continuing to walk with that, am I walking with that because I really believe it, or am I walking with that because I've been trained to walk with that?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do, man, is I walk around with what's on the inside of me. And that's what I operate on. Because can't nobody answer for me but me, and I can't answer for nobody else, right? But what I also believe is that if I'm gonna be walking around here telling people, right, that God is real, He's omnipotent, He's omniscient, that He made that many mistakes.
Yeah, it kind of just eliminates the whole omnipotent and omniscient.
I segue that because I'm gonna put a pin in that because I know folks get to feel however they want to feel about it.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you. It said man on man, but what about women on women?
And that's the whole other conversation, right? That should be had but never is, right? But here's what you see. When you see men discussing it,
mm-hmm.
right? Versus when you see women discussing it, things change too. Why? You know what I'm saying? You got dudes that'll say, you know, if he pitch and don't catch, he ain't gay.
Still, you got to get aroused, man.
How, son?
You got to get hard. So you might be more gay if you pitch it. You know, you got to get aroused. So,
I don't know.
You do, fam.
But that's a physiological response. That ain't got nothing to do with what's going on in your mind, right? That's external stimuli. That could happen to anybody, right? It'd be folks getting raped, get aroused. So I don't enter that into the conversation. I kind of leave that part out. But if you see two women, right, no matter who doing what, you're gonna say they two lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
Why would that change when it's two men?
You don't say, yeah.
Why is this dude getting some head from this homosexual? Why is that not two homosexuals?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Because the sexual act is homosexual. Is
right.
Homosexual. Yeah.
That's the other.
That's the root of that word. Homosexual. That means it's the same sex.
That'll say,
sexual. Yeah.
And I used to be one of those people. I would have this discussion, and the guy asked me, "Well, do you believe people are born gay?" Well, no. Because of the way we define homosexual, they can't be. Because homosexuality in our society is defined by the act.
So you ain't gay until you actually have sex.
You got to do the act. You got to commit the act, right, to fit the definition. So, well, now I'm not. Hey, man, listen, you're not arguing with me.
It ain't about what you're attracted to. You got to actually have the act.
What's attraction? Because I'm attracted to you.
But
I think you cool as shit.
I'm a good-looking motherfucker, though. But you see, I'm a good-looking motherfucker, though. Like, and I'm gonna say you are correct for being that way. Like, but we gonna cut it off at a certain point. You get what I'm saying? We're not gonna go there with it. But I'm smart. I look good.
Are you? Do you?
I'm very witty.
Are you?
No, but I'm talking about when I'm saying attraction. I wasn't even talking about because when you put it that way, and it sounds crazy, but I love my homies, I love my partners, y'all who I want to kick it with. So that's an attraction there, right? But I'm talking about like a sexual.
But think about it. How does a 5-year-old experience a sexual attraction? They don't. right? They don't.
No, you don't.
But that 5-year-old absolutely expresses feminine tendencies.
Is that could there be a chemical imbalance, you think?
No, I think I knew my brother was gay before he did.
Okay.
He was probably. I
As I
was
say, you don't
very
think it's a
young.
chemical imbalance, like
No,
a
what would need
extra
to be
amount of
imbalanced?
extra amount of estrogen
No,
in the male body or
no, there's
something?
no imbalance.
I'm asking. I don't know.
Imbalance implies something is off,
Right.
and I disagree. I don't
Wasn't
think
nothing wrong
anything's
with him.
off. No, no. I mean, he live a better life than I do. That's a fucking show.
Yeah. Cool
Shit.
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a whole
cool
bunch of shit
motherfucker.
that I'd have done. And he ain't had to go do. He didn't have to go try all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think there's an imbalance there at all.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a sociological stigma that come from somewhere. Somebody put that out there, man. You know what I'm saying?
People are born
To
they
me,
are who they are when
that
they're
ain't
born.
no different than somebody telling their kid, don't play with him, he bad.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you're gonna see bad when you look at him.
Okay.
Because it's been drilled into you that
That's
he
the
bad.
indoctrination.
I think that's where we are, man. Because now don't get me wrong, on the flip side of that, I think homosexuality and lesbianism became trendy at some point. And for lack of a better way to say it, I think a lot of folk out there faking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
More or less. Motherfuckers operating out of trauma. You know what I'm saying? Rather than
True feelings.
something on the inside. They operating off trauma. This man hurt this girl's feelings, so she feel like I'm gonna go be with women. You know what I'm saying? You still really like men though.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want to be hurt like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Me and I feel like it's become trendy because they believe gay is different. But I think if they really looked around and recognized, just check the numbers. You're not nearly as small a minority as you believe you are.
Well, that's just who's open. You still got the
Right.
ones in the class.
That's what I'm saying. But
that's a nice chunk of society.
listen,
I do
bro,
believe
I
that.
had a cat with me.
I do believe that.
I had a cat with me one time. I went up to go get some furniture for my mama from my brother's house. Left my brother's house. Now I knew, but we didn't talk about it. It wasn't nothing to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knew I was straight. We never discussed his sexuality. I knew he was gay. He tried to play it off, had a girlfriend and all kind of shit. Chick he was living with in the whole nine. It's like, really, my nigga? Come on. But anyway, we leave my brother's house. We're going up the highway. My brother calls me. Wasn't my brother. It was his husband. So I'm like, what's up, G? I said, man, what you doing with that pump? I said, oh, no, man, that's my old boy. I said, man, y'all peep that? He said, as soon as he hit the door. You couldn't tell that dude that people could see.
Mm.
He really thought he was playing it off. They peeped him in the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like so.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you legit, right, and you ain't faking, you look around at the world and you'll see that you're not as small a minority as you believe you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would take some of the stigma away, take some of the apprehension away. But that is where I believe some of the generations before us failed. Because man, people got to be who they are in this world. You can't beat nothing out of nobody. You can't beat nothing into nobody. I had my left hand tied behind my back when I was a kid because they didn't want me to be left-handed.
Yeah, that was some
They
bad
wanted
shit
me to
back
eat
then.
with my right hand.
That was
So
some
they
bad
thought
shit back
if they
then.
tied my
Yeah.
left arm behind my back.
Wasn't that like you supposed to be the devil or some shit?
Yeah, they said
Something evil about being
if you ate
left-handed.
with your left hand, you'd spend a day with the devil when you die.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but that's what they thought.
Now I didn't hear that part there.
So they
But
legit
goddamn,
tied
boy,
my
that was
arm
some
behind
shit
my back.
they used to
Right.
say.
But again, bro,
you're gonna spend a day with the devil when you die. How you know that?
Here's what you gotta understand because they were told it.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, bro. Think about this.
God damn, boy.
You go and you talk to most, and I say
insane.
most, I ain't putting this on all of them, but you go talk to most Baptist ministers beyond the age of say 70,
Mm-hmm.
right? they gonna all preach the same thing. The reason that they all preach the same thing is because they learned the same kind of pastors.
Mm-hmm.
Those pastors, learned from the same kind of pastors who learned from the same kind of pastors, except the pastors they were learning from didn't actually know how to read.
Right. Everything was
They
orated.
learned the Bible through somebody telling it to them.
Yeah.
That's why they be saying stuff like, when so and so died, they preaching a funeral and they say, well, you know, he up in heaven with the Lord. The Bible does not say that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say that at all. It actually says, and they read it at almost every funeral. When they read that passage in John, it says that Jesus said, I'll go and prepare a place for you, and then I'll come back and receive you unto myself. So where they at in the meantime? You keep reading it, say, people who died in Christ will rise first.
Mm-hmm.
Where they rising from if they already there? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's so there's some miscommunication that done went on.
So they floating around us or something?
Which
Man?
goes back to what I said before, like,
I don't know.
Man, you ought to know this shit, man.
I don't. I don't know to know anything. I won't ever swear by knowing anything. What I'm absolutely certain of, though, is there's some definitive contradictions there.
Yeah.
Right? One of the things that I think is critical is when people talk about operating on faith, because that's what it is. You got people out there who will say, you know, you can't show me the tomb or nobody from the Bible. How you know that? Because we don't even know what their names was. You calling them Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
That definitely wasn't their name.
You know that wasn't their names.
No, not
Those are translated names.
Yeah, not that part of the world.
From another name.
Not that part of the world. No.
But then them people that say the white folk gave y'all the Bible. Did they? Because somebody gave it to them. What you think them people look like? Because the oldest text that has been found was in Ethiopia.
That's the oldest Bible ever. Right.
So it's like, them's just niggas, man. I'm sorry, but they is. Right? So it's like, you know, but this goes to where we are right now. We sitting smack dab in the middle of an Israel-Hamas war, right? Why?
Boy, that's one of the oldest beefs on the face of the earth, man.
Why?
If not the oldest.
Is it though? Or is that just what we've been told?
That's what we've been told.
You see what I'm saying?
I keep hearing that shit go back to biblical times. Is it spoken about?
It goes back to before that.
Is it spoken about in the Bible?
Thousands of years.
Well,
yes,
okay,
it is. But not in those terms. People, again, translated it to mean what they wanted to mean.
Okay.
Because this the thing. Israel wasn't a place, it was a people.
Right. Wasn't a place till what, 1943 or some shit
48,
like that?
I think.
48, okay.
Israel literally is translated to mean he who wrestles with God. That was the name given to Jacob after he supposedly tussled with this angel all night long.
And I hear that's allegorical.
Couldn't subdue him, and he couldn't subdue the angel, right? Now, I don't know what that could be an absolute fact.
No, one of the translations I got, it was allegorical, and they was talking about that. He wrestled with like the government or some shit like that.
Or he wrestled with something within himself. Like you never know. I don't know.
Right.
Again, I don't profess to know.
Right.
But I am certain of that at some point, you got some people who will say, well, when Moses parted the Red Sea, well, that land was given them. Except there were people there already. The Asmodeans were there.
Mm-hmm.
You beat them away and took the land because God gave it to you. But if they don't believe in that God, how are you right? So right now, we're sitting in the middle of two groups of people who both believe God gave them the right to that land.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part people don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, look, man, you know, I asked somebody on Facebook a few months ago. Now, it's probably a month ago now. All I asked was, why haven't we seen anybody interviewed from Hamas?
because they
Why
want
are we not talking to their leaders
the
like we
media
talking
want
to
to
the
portray them as
Israeli leaders, right?
Yeah, they're the terrorists, right? That's what the Western media has portrayed.
But
They,
I'm saying we had interviews with people from Al Qaeda and interviews with people from
shit,
ISIS.
they have
Bin
interviewed
Laden was
Bin
on the
Laden.
TV.
Yeah, I'm finna
You know what I'm
say
saying?
that. He got interviewed.
So, but when I said that, the guy called me an anti-Semite. So I just left the conversation alone because it's like, is that what I am for asking that question? I thought that was a decent question.
Cahoots with Israel.
Yeah.
So this is what happened. Right?
Yeah, and it's
these
a scripture
are
out
facts.
the Bible.
Now this is a fact.
About it's a scripture out the Bible that they often reference as to why they back in Israel.
Bro, this is a fact. Prior to World War One, all of that land was Palestinian.
Did they build the Suez Canal, right?
Prior to that, the Romans owned it
Okay.
because they ran the Palestinians off. Now, people will tell you they ran off the Jews. The Romans had a coin there showing a Roman soldier and then this woman who they say is a Jewish woman over this, like trying to help this man, this other soldier who was down. It was a coin. They had a Roman centurion. It was clearly a Roman centurion by his dress, right? The other guy appeared to be some savage guy or whatever, right? That he had just killed. And his woman was down there trying to look after him or whatever, right? They had this on a coin. But it depends on who you're listening to, who had the land first. But both of them people believe they got rights to it. So at some point, right, the Palestinians were there for literally a couple of thousand years. And everything appeared to be fine. And then World War One, and the British said, this is ours now. By mandate. You want to fight about it?
So they came
And the Palestinians said, hold up, man. Hold up.
They came and jacked.
We don't really, want them problems right now, man. We see how y'all get down. We don't, okay, well, look, we going to govern this. This is how we going to do this. And they started slowly but surely migrating Jews.
So they came and jacked.
Basically. But if you ask the Jewish people, they just was just taking their own land back.
They said that was theirs.
Palestinians said, no, this is our space. So what the British did was they said, okay, this space in the middle here don't be neutral. That's where the whole West Bank and the Gaza Strip peace come from. That was all supposed to be neutral. Now, this is the part that don't nobody want to talk about. Israel, and they got to own it because this historical fact. They started encroaching. They did it to Lebanon. They did it to Jordan. They did it to Syria.
Okay.
They decided we want this.
We want more.
Not only do we want this, we want Britain and the U.S. to back our play. And we be on the backside of that preaching peace.
And the U.S. have been back in the play.
But at the same time, we funding them.
That's what I'm saying. We back in the play.
So how you openly preach peace and then fund the war? That's a contradiction, right? But this was supposed to be a neutral area here. Supposed to be Palestinians and Israelis living in harmony, right?
In this little strip.
But ever so often, there's an encroachment that occurs. This is why when I initially heard the reports, because if anybody knows what media can do, Black people in America should know what media can do.
Definitely.
Because you got white guys right now, man, in their 60s, who will quote MLK to you, knowing doggone well they hated that man when he was alive.
Most hated man in America when he was alive.
They were here. They were alive. They were adolescent and teenage boys, and they hated this man. And now they'll quote him to you because it's fashionable and trendy for them to do so, right? These are the same dudes who will tell you that rather than complaining about your job, just go get another one. You don't like the way Donald Trump running the country, move. But then they don't like the way Biden running the country, but they don't want nobody telling them to move. There's a reason for that.
It's that privilege.
That's the same reason they back in the play over there. because they believe that Bible is a history book.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, what if it ain't?
They think it's an accurate historical timeline.
I'm saying, what if it ain't, man?
Now
Like,
you
what if
question.
we-
Now you
what if we
questioning
wrong
people's
about
faith
this? Right?
because
But I got a responsibility to question my own.
right.
To me,
Because it's supposed to be, if you listen to one of them, the Bible is supposed to be the infallible word of God, right or wrong.
right.
And can you break down what infallible
Now,
means?
this the problem with that. God don't ever say that.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of stuff people say Jesus said, Jesus didn't say. That ain't him in the Bible talking. There are places where he legitimately is supposedly speaking in there. They always put that in quotations and they let it be known Jesus said, right? But then they'll say a bunch of other stuff. Well, Jesus did. Hold up, man. He didn't say that.
Mm-mm.
So it's like when you say what God say, show me where God said that. I was sitting in the barber shop one day and guy asked what I felt was a legitimate question, right? He said, Carlos, do you believe that the Nephilim were truly children of an angel and a man? They're supposed to be giants, right?
Both the
Very
giants and the
powerful
titans
creatures,
and all
right?
that shit.
They were supposed to be the offspring of an angel and a human.
Yeah, the angels supposed to have came down and raped some humans.
And I said, listen, that's entirely possible, right? I guess. If you believe in angels, then you have to believe that that is possible, right? What is also possible that they just talking about
Some tall dudes.
the offspring of a believer and a non-believer.
Not some tall people, huh? I mean, it could be real simple as that, right? Because over time, the human being has grown taller, right? So you talking about
there are
2,000-3,000 years ago, motherfuckers might have been 5'4" the average height, and you got a motherfucker 6'10".
There are huge boxes
Yeah.
in these, and this I ain't talking.
I've seen that,
about
but has that been disapproved or not?
I ain't talking about, no, it has not. But
Okay.
I ain't talking about 6'10". I'm talking about way bigger than that.
Yeah.
There are.
I've seen some big old spears
that
and all
look
that.
like
Yeah.
they could possibly have been sarcophagus or coffins.
Yeah.
Now ain't nothing in them. You got some scientists who say that was just nothing but grain storage, man. People are tripping. They freaking out over nothing. But there's absolutely nothing in there. So there's no way to know what was actually in it. There are other scientists who will say this is where those giants slept, right? But that ain't, people thought, and swore Ben Carson was as crazy as a loon right after calling him one of the most brilliant men on the planet when he said he believed those pyramids were grain silos, right? He said he believed they were basically farming tools.
Mm-hmm.
Now, man, I ain't never been in there. I don't know. I think Ben Carson's a smarter man than I am, right? I don't think he's crazy. I think he was a tad misguided, in some of his beliefs and certainly in his backing. But I think that's politics too. And it's part of the reason I'm not a politician, because I don't understand how some guy can talk shit on me today and then I go back in tomorrow. That's tough for me. But I understand that's the political game, right? That's the way the landscape is. You tussling with the guy, but when you realize you can't beat him, you
join him.
kind of get in his graces, right? And but I don't think Ben Carson being in line with the Republican Party and going off to be the Secretary of Housing makes him an idiot all of a sudden. This guy's a brilliant neurosurgeon, right?
But that don't mean he's been a good politician.
Right. That also don't mean he necessarily knows anything about these pyramids.
Yeah.
But it don't mean he don't either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
but he made the comment.
Thin air, bro.
Yeah, and he made the comment like indefinite, like he knew what he was talking about as well. And what you just said, the man who knows what the
anybody who
said,
know that they know. Get my
man
goat,
who knows nothing knows man who knows something means he don't know nothing at all.
A wise man absolutely knows that he really knows nothing.
Ever. You know what Miss Badu said in the song, man?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. But it's one of them deals where it's like,
shout out Erica,
real, man. Because that's where we are in the world. There are people that we are holding high regard today. And then the minute they disagree with us, they the biggest stupid idiots and don't know nothing. It's like, come on, man, you know that's not the truth. You was just holding the guy in high regard yesterday.
Yeah.
Why can't we just be in disagreement on this particular issue? And I'm telling you, I believe the why is that indoctrination. Because I believe if we walk away from that concept, we'll be able to see a lot of stuff way more clearly than we see it, man, because we operating off what somebody told us.
But don't you think the powers that be don't want us to do that?
We the powers that be, bro.
We
We lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves it's some unseen force pulling the strings, but that's our ass.
Yeah.
Now, I have no doubt we can be influenced.
Right. And don't you think there's some powerful people out there who want to keep us influenced a certain way?
Yeah. But that's the Illuminati conversation. Like it really is, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like every successful black person is Illuminati.
Yeah, I have an issue with that.
Successful white people are not.
Yeah, I have an issue with that.
Why is it okay for white people to gain immense success?
Yeah, I have an issue with that.
Without being part of some secret society. But every
Yeah.
time a black person hit a lick, they're Illuminati.
Yeah, I've never subscribed to that.
Every time a successful black person loses someone in their life, they sacrifice.
Yeah. And look, man, I'm not saying,
come on, bro,
because I don't know much about it, and I'm not saying
cats on the internet say bond sacrifice pimp.
Yeah, and I'm not saying some of that stuff can't be positive, but every single black person who experiences some kind of success had to head and soul is soul. That's horrible.
That's what I'm saying.
That's horrible.
Bro.
I can't subscribe to that, man.
But you gotta understand, we had to be led in that direction.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying
thinking that out of thin
you ain't got some brothers and sisters who ain't did some fuck shit.
Or,
but not every single one.
Trick, look over here so we can really be doing some shit over here.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, listen, man, I'll tell anybody. I'm still wondering to this day how Lyra Cohen got into hip hop.
Leor,
you talking about a guy who went to school in California, bro?
Yeah, Leor.
He's not from Harlem. He's not from Brooklyn.
Queens, none of that.
So how did you get over here and become president or co-owner of Def Jam? What put you in hip hop?
It was a finesse game, huh?
He knew where the money was.
He won't even say.
Some kind of finesse game. Okay, y'all, we've come to the end of the hour, man. Want to thank everybody who tuned in, gave us a listen, man. We appreciate all the support, man. And I want y'all to do is spread the word, man. Get people. You're gonna see us up on the YouTube page. That's Triple Beam Radio on YouTube. What other platforms are we on, JK?
We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram.
TikTok is the number 3 Beam Radio. That's TikTok. IG is Triple Beam Radio, all one word. What else?
Also, if you have any kind of topics, we're going to throw this out there that you want us to touch on, go to triplebeamradio@gmail.com.
triplebeamradio@gmail.com. Y'all write that down. Remember that. You can send in ideas for shows, ideas for guests. Also, when y'all tune into the YouTube or the IG or the TikTok, man, y'all comment, y'all like, y'all share. We want y'all feedback, man. Let's help grow this thing. Any shout outs, Los?
Yeah. Shit, shout out to Visual Prowess, no doubt. Of course, I'm always shout out my man Lil Cleek, doing his thing over there. Shout out to our good fake sponsor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey man,
we ain't forgot about you.
Shit ain't going right around the house. Learn one.
Yeah, we ain't forgot about you.
Shout out to Beehive Catering. Rum T, do that thing you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
Keep that up, fam. Shout out to all the single mothers out there. I give y'all a hard time, but y'all know what it is. Yeah, it's all love, man. I'm talking about we all trying to get better around here, man. And if there's a way that I can go about helping to promote that, that's what I'm on. Now sometimes, I got to be harsh a little bit. You see, I got to be a little harsh, but I'm gonna backdoor that with a good old hug and some love, and we gonna all get better together. Shout out to the Black fathers. Get y'all shit together, man. We got better things we got to do, folks. We got some mentoring out there that need doing, man. You know, we got to get out in our communities and start talking to these boys about what time it is. You know, don't let feelings override intellect. So, but no, man, I'm look, glad to be here. You know, look forward to the next one. We're gonna keep it rolling.
JK, you got any shout outs, baby?
I spoke to my nigga Webby yesterday.
Okay.
He in good spirits. I want to say free Webby,
Hold your head, baby.
free Iceman,
Hold your head.
and free T Green.
I'll hold your head.
And that's it.
Okay.
Man.
Shout out again all the Triple Beamers nationwide, man. The homie Bubsy, Dorian in North Click. All my boys in Newcastle. Shout out Shoe, King Shoe, P Shoe. Shout out to you, baby. We gonna get together. We gonna make some magic happen, man.
Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna make some magic happen, baby. Yeah, no doubt. And I think that's about it, man. Shout out to my boy Big Courtney, man. Shout out to my two brothers, man, Big Maul, Big Bodine and Baby Bodine.
Congratulations to Bodine too.
Oh man.
Yeah. Congratulations with the progression in your career, man. We're so proud of you. Right, we're so proud of you.
I ain't even got words, man.
Yeah, no, we
I
really
ain't
are.
got
We are
words,
so
bro.
proud of you, man.
For real.
We're so proud of you, man. Definitely a change in the community. He actually was the change he wanted to see in his community.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's somebody you could we got these youngsters who can aspire to be like. And I think that's it, man. I just want again, I thank everybody who tuned in and gave us a listen, man. Let's take this thing to the next level, y'all. We out.